It's time to swarm the 402. Welcome to the Nebraska Hawkeyes. These guys are brave. They're Hawkeyes living in enemy territory. Listen, these guys are way past their prime, but they're still Hawkeyes. They're spreading the Hawkeye hype to all of Nebraska. The frost advisory is canceled. Corn Huskers, more like corn suckers. Are you ready for this podcast? Let's go Hawks!
All right, welcome back to the Nebraska Hawks Nest, your Hawkeye oasis located in a non-fourth quarter finishing desert. I am joined today by all the boys. The boys are back, and I'm looking at a bunch of winners. Boys, we did it 7 years in a row. The Hawks brought home the Corn Belt, the Heroes Trophy, beating Nebraska, outscoring them 19-0 in the fourth quarter, gave us all heart attacks. I thought I had steam coming out of my ears. I was a little worried about it. So wanted to get just a little bit of your guys' thoughts. But first, now that we're all looking ahead at the Hawks going to the Big Ten Championship, fortunes just kind of fell our way. Things went right.
Row the boat.
Big thank you to PJ Fleck, baby. Let's give PJ a round of applause. Thank you, PJ. You know, he did his job and beat Wisconsin. We're going to the Big Ten Championship. So I know a lot of Hawk fans are considering going. I thought it would be interesting for us to talk about what the average ticket price is for each conference championship game. Let's see what you guys thought.
All right.
Before we move into stuff. Now, this is going to be really eye-opening. You're going to be a little surprised. Out of all the conferences, I just want to ask you guys quick, who do you think is the most expensive?
SEC.
My assumption would be SEC.
Okay. What about you, Jerry?
I'm going to go Big Ten.
Big Ten? Okay. What about you, Kyle?
Geez, I mean, my first thought is SEC, but now that you mentioned the Big Ten, we were pretty sexy this year. Everybody in the Big Ten was.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to start at the bottom and work our way up here, okay? So the cheapest out of the Power 5 conferences, you can get a ticket to the ACC Championship for $35. Wow.
Jeez.
I'm glad you said ACC. I thought we were going to start out with the Iowa Conference Championship, and I was going to be like, you could go to, Pella, Iowa for $10.
Like a donation of Campbell's chunky chicken noodle soup.
Right,
Yeah.
Well, thank you for starting with the Power 5, Adam.
All right. Next up on the list, at $63, you can take a trip to the Pac-12 Championship for $63. That's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
And then moving on, the Big 12, $82. Okay, $82 to get in. Now, this is where the big bucks start rolling in. All right. The Big Ten, the lowest ticket price when we checked, $230 to get your foot in the door right now. So, the SEC, anyone want to guess what the SEC is the cheapest ticket? Anybody want to guess?
$350.
Okay.
I'm going to say 400.
Okay. All right. Jerry?
I feel like we're on the Price is Right. 410.
Yeah.
401. 401. That's my guess.
Okay.
$500.
500. All right. The starting price was $399 for the cheapest ticket to get into the SEC championship game.
This is the Price is Right. That's me. I win.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we couldn't go over.
Should I put my hat back on?
Listen, Bob Barker.
I just need you guys to know that when he won that championship, that whole crown thing was not planned. Like that was just like straight improv. So props to Matt for that.
Insider information: he was not wearing that in Lincoln this weekend, is what we were told. So the serving of the beers did not happen because he broke his end of the deal.
I forgot about the serving of beers and everything.
Oh yeah, so did I.
So did we.
Yeah. We were too busy serving our own selves with beer.
Oh man,
you were wearing that glorious Hawkeye sports jacket. We need to have a photo of it.
Oh, we got some photos that'll be shared here in a little bit.
Oh, there we go.
That jacket was amazing.
That's not always good for me, but we
want to talk a little bit about the game. We're going to dig into that, but just take a seat, go on this ride with me, and we're going to see where we're going to go. It's going to be interesting here, okay? So the first 3 quarters of the Heroes game didn't go so well, okay? Things were not going well for us. We couldn't stop them. They were throwing the ball all over us. They were quarterback, sneaking the ball up the middle nonstop, nothing we could do with it. Things were just getting very, very frustrating. Third quarter ends. I don't think anybody in the stands thought that we had much of a chance, okay? So there's a lot of rumors going around about how we made this extreme 19-0 comeback, that we might have had a little bit of help. And some pictures are surfacing that maybe we didn't play a fair game. There's a gentleman that was spotted in the stadium, a superhero, sampling the ice cream.
Nacho Libre Hawkeye.
And this is not Bruce Wayne. This is a different superhero.
Donning a championship belt. A lot of people are wanting to know who this character is, how our fortunes changed. There's another photo of him walking through.
The Husker fan behind him averting his eyes. He didn't even want to look at him.
Well, and then there was photos of him leaving the stadium. Somebody got a photo, and this was pretty interesting, walking out of Memorial Stadium. So
I thought we were going to die a couple times from the looks of the fans.
This guy, we owe him a lot of things, and our research team earned their paycheck today. They tracked down this guy. We've heard a lot of names, but apparently he goes by the name of Hogan, not to be confused with Hulk Hogan. And he's here joining us today.
Yes.
Hawk Hogan, welcome to the Nebraska Hawks Nest. How are you doing?
Good.
All right, man. Well, all I want to say is
yes.
I don't know what you did, but we were dead to rights in this game. And then you showed up, and I'm not really sure what happened, but we're going to start from the beginning. How did you become Hawk Hogan? Give us your origin story. Every superhero has a story of how they started. What's yours?
My mom just laid an egg in Iowa City, all uphill from there.
Oh,
she laid an egg.
He popped out of an egg.
All right. He hatched. Hawk Hogan hatched in Iowa City.
Hawk Hogan.
You heard it here first.
I can't believe it. Okay, I love
it.
That's not where I saw that one going, but
I mean, I get it because birds lay eggs, so he's a hawk and I understand it completely. It makes perfect sense. I love it.
In the eternal struggle, the egg came before the hawk, to answer that age-old question.
So Mr. Hawk Hogan, the initial photos of you being spotted in the stadium and partaking in, it looks like a chocolate ice cream cone there. How was the ice cream in Nebraska? How does it compare to Iowa's ice cream?
It was good, but not as good as Iowa's.
Okay. Rumor on the street is you're a fan of Iowa's own Wells Blue Bunny ice cream, and that's usually all you want to ever have.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
Okay.
Makes
all
sense.
Right. And now you guys, if you have any questions for Hawk Hogan, hop on in and let him know, because this guy's one of those guys that just poof smoke and he's gone. And
So Hawk, what's your residual paycheck from this appearance going to be? Because we're 4 of us on this podcast are very curious as to what kind of a payment system you're on here.
Jerry, if you think a kid that age knows what the word residual means, then you're sadly mistaken. Last time I checked, superheroes don't do it for the money; they do it for the glory and to help people out.
So I digress. Hawk, why are you doing this? Because usually it's for the glory. What is this for?
For the Heroes Game trophy.
There you go. All
My
right.
senses tingled. I knew that we were losing. End of the third quarter, just swooped in. Knew we needed help. Saved the day.
No, that's.
I want to know if Hawk will take off his mask and reveal his true identity.
I doubt it.
Well,
No chance.
the second part of my question was: is Hawk going to lose his phone privileges if he didn't do this tonight?
I don't know who he is. Our research team got him in here, and I'm just thankful that they were able to figure this out. I have no idea how they even would gone about getting him on here.
It's all right. I got it.
All right, Hawk Hogan. Who's your?
You're going to be at every game now.
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna need you more often. Hawk Hogan, who's your favorite all-time Hawkeye?
Probably AJ Epinesa or Nate Stanley.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Not Kyle Slicker. That doesn't come to mind.
He's my third.
Hey, you made the list.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, coincidentally, he's Matt's third too. Good job.
All right, Hawk Hogan. Why did you disappear so quick after the game? The fans were walking around looking for you and wanted to interview you. I know some local news stations wanted to ask you some questions. Well, where did you go?
Oscar security took me away.
Oscar security.
Ooh.
Wow.
All right.
So was that painful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I probably couldn't listen to one more Go Big Red cheer. I'm glad it's 270 whatever days until I have to hear that again.
Yeah.
That's
It was bad.
That's pretty loud on TV too, man.
There was a guy behind us. I was whistling. I was about to go punch him in the face. It was so annoying.
All right.
Yeah, they were a little annoying. That Go Big Red stuff. I don't care if I would be happy if I never had to hear that ever again. It was like every 5 seconds.
Hawk Hogan, it's time for bed.
Oh, is that your mom, Hawk Hogan?
No, it's my manager.
Okay. All right, Hawk Hogan. Well, thank you so much for what you did for us, man.
Hey, Hawk Hogan, I got one more question. Who's your favorite Nebraska Hawks Nest personality?
All of you guys.
Good answer. All right,
All right,
Hawk.
buddy.
Thanks, man.
All right.
We appreciate you helping the Hawkeyes with that 19-point swing in the fourth quarter.
You're welcome.
All right,
night now.
go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
All right. Go see your manager.
All right, that was awesome. I can't believe you guys got him. Man.
Oh.
Pulled some strings, made it work.
Geez, every once in a while you get somebody on that gives you goosebumps. You're like, man, we got legendary status right in front of our eyes. That's one of those times. All right, guys, I want to hear what your thoughts were. Jerry, start out with you at the end of the third quarter. What was running through your head? We were not doing so well. We were down 21-9. Like it was not going well.
I was doing everything I could do to win over the Husker fans in my section, but they just were not having it. They wanted to make sure that I knew that, they were on the brink of victory. But it was kind of amazing that it was kind of, the way they've had it this year. What is this? Their 7th one score or less loss this year.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was just kind of, when that block punt was returned for the touchdown, you just kind of had a sense from the Husker crowd around me. It was kind of like, we've seen this before. And then it was just kind of generally deflated then you got the safety, then you got the field goal to tie it. And I mean, honestly, I don't know about you guys in your sections, but when they kicked that field goal to tie it, when Iowa kicked the field goal to tie it, there were Husker fans leaving the stadium. It was like they already knew what was going to happen. And I mean, in a way I felt for them because I'm like, how much of a struggle that would be. But I mean, it's just, you kind of just got a feeling that they thought it was they had victory in their sights, and it got pulled away again. So, but in the meantime, I'm just glad I didn't have to move. I could come home and hold my head high in victory and fly my flag, and just enjoy being a Hawkeye in the Husker State again.
Well, Kyle, you were the one out of all of us that watched it on TV. What was your feelings and thoughts after that blocked punt? I'm sure the feeling on TV even changed. What did you feel was happening in the game, and did you feel like we were going to have a great shot to win that game at that point?
So I actually watched this game while hanging Christmas lights on the exterior of my house. And I remember when the block punt happened, I had my phone. I was up on a 24-foot ladder, lights, and I had my phone on its little kickstand on the top of my roof, like the angled part of my roof. I was watching it, and watching that climb all the way up, and then the block punt happened. I knew immediately the game was over with. I knew that no matter how much time we had left, Nebraska had lost it. And again, I know it'd been a while since they had a block punt, and I remember Sean Considine block a punt. I believe it was in 2004. And when stuff like that happens, man, that's like punching the knife in and twisting it. I mean, it's just done. It's over with.
Yeah,
momentum is done. So yeah, that definitely felt good, and I'm glad that happened because it definitely changed the momentum of the game and the attitude. And from that point on, I was a little bit more relaxed because I knew that we'd go ahead. And plus, I don't know if you guys remember, I picked Shudek to win it by 3, and I came pretty close.
Yeah. He did.
And if he would have made one more field goal, he would have tied my record. So I'm glad he didn't do that.
Oh, really? Man, he did one hell of a job kicking the ball in that game, man. He was on point.
Yeah, so the guy next to me, the Husker fan next to me, was talking about the kicker and hitting. I'm like, yeah, he's hit some long ones this year. He's pretty automatic. He goes, yeah, I could stand for him to miss one right now. I go, well, that's not going to happen. As he nails a 48-yarder, I'm like, boom.
It's really too bad that this is his only year, right?
Yeah. Right.
Bad,
yep. That is.
Well,
and hopefully you'll see him in the second level.
Is he able to come back? I thought everybody that was there during the pandemic has an optional extra year if they want it.
I'm not sure, man.
Might be able to.
But...
Maybe. Okay. That'd be our only hope to get him back. I don't know who's behind him, I guess, but
neither do I.
He's freaking good.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw it, and if not, go out on Twitter or on YouTube and find it. But Tory Taylor this week had about a little 2-minute thing in his interview talking about how much of a crime he thought it was that Shudak wasn't a finalist for the Groza Award, which, Tory Taylor wasn't even a finalist for the Ray Guy, but he basically said, I don't care about that. But he's like, Caleb Shudak's one of the best kickers in the country. And, what a oversight it was to not have him on the Ray Guy. So I thought that was pretty stand up of him.
A lot of that's political, man.
That's just part of, I feel like that's part of being a Hawkeye. And it's like, having a chip on your shoulder. We always get overlooked because we're not the sexy team. We're not going to score 40 points in a game. So, we don't get the attention. We don't get the 5-star recruit, but, we're going to stay consistent and keep plowing through, man. 10-2, that's one hell of a record. And there's a lot of teams that don't have nearly as good of records that are ranked ahead of us. That is kind of ridiculous. So I'll be interested when the college football playoff poll comes out to see where they put us.
And just real quick, I looked it up. But Shudak, this was his additional year of eligibility this year. So this is his only year.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right.
I kind of thought I heard that. This was it for him.
It is too bad. It is too bad.
He was fun to watch all year long, man. He was Mr. Automatic.
Obviously, I'm a lot older than him. We went to the same elementary school, Lewis Central, Council Bluffs.
Lewis Central, Council Bluffs, right across the river.
All right.
Well, I don't know if you saw the Hawks Nest this week, Kyle, but the loser got Council Bluffs. So apparently, Council Bluffs belongs to Nebraska now. So,
yep. That's too bad that their taxes are shooting up being in Nebraska. So that's not good. All right. When I was sitting in the section, and I didn't hear much Hawkeye cheering anybody because we didn't have a lot to cheer about. And then all of a sudden, as the fourth quarter started rolling, I hear a familiar voice in the next section over, and I look, and it's the Miller Lite Delight, Matt Meyer, and he is decked out in a Tiger Hawk sport coat. I got to be honest with you, Jerry. Can you reach out to the research team and see if they got a picture of Matt in that?
I do not. I'm not sure our crack research team did get a photo of Matt.
I think we dropped the ball on the sport coat.
We really did. We really did. But the research team is checking into that as we speak.
Okay. That's why we pay him the big bucks. So the Miller
hot gloves.
Yeah, he had those too.
Those hot gloves?
I did.
Yep, we're working on it here. So
Matt, what was your thoughts, Matt, when you're watching the game? You know, you're down there in the trenches in a sea of red, and you feel like the air's just been taken out of the stadium.
So
what were you feeling?
Yeah, right. At halftime, I sat in the stand on my seat, and I just sat there and watched the field, and like I'm trying to like think in my head, like talk myself through if the Huskers pull this off. And then all of a sudden they brought the house, blocked that punt, ran it in for a touchdown. Me and Bodie are standing up, high-fiving, cheering, oh, touchdown Iowa! And everybody around, all the Husker fans were sitting down beside us, and they're like, man, we are cursed. They kept saying we're cursed. And I'm like, I kind of felt bad for them, but I didn't because it was a rough game up till that point.
I got to tell a little side story. So, Matt sat with my son during the game, and then my daughter sat with me. And, as a Hawkeye fan, I think most Hawk fans always have that moment where the black and gold puts their meat hooks in your heart, and you're there for life. Like you know that you're a Hawk for life. And this weekend, that's what happened to my daughter. And that was the coolest thing ever. I'm in the stands with her, and she is just distressed the whole game, putting her hands over her face like, oh my gosh, why are we doing so bad? Like, I can't believe this. Like, she was distraught. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never seen you care this much ever about Iowa football. Like, she'll watch games occasionally, but she doesn't really care that much. But, this one, there's a lot of skin in the game. Going back to school on Monday with a Hawkeye victory, you don't have to face that type of criticism from your classmates and getting crap, which my kids get crap all the time in school for being Hawkeye fans. And they have me as their dads, which that doesn't help at all. And just to see the euphoria and the look on her face and the excitement about us winning, it was just like, as a dad, was the most fulfilling, amazing thing. As our just from a sports perspective, to be able to see my daughter just grab that love for the Hawkeyes, and it was very, very cool. So
That's awesome.
Russ, what were your thoughts where you guys were at? Sit you as well in a sea of red, watching the progression from a pretty dead first 3/4 of the game going into the third quarter. Russ, what were you feeling and what were you seeing?
I felt like I was a Husker sandwich. I had a grumpy old Husker fan to my right, and then another one that I'm married to my left. And both were in my ear the whole first and second quarter. The old man, just every time Iowa would make any kind of mistake, oh, it's typical Iowa. And I started to get a little heated under the collar, and we applied a couple of great hits. And I'm like, yeah, that's a lot like Iowa too.
Yeah.
Smash your Huskers into the dirt. And the grumpy old man, about 3 minutes after we blocked that punt, turned beet red. He was as red as his Husker hat and walked out and never came back. They couldn't take the heat. And about probably 3-4 minutes into the fourth quarter, when you could see that their defense was exhausted, and we were pushing them off the line of scrimmage, our offensive line, 3 or 4 yards, probably a third of my section left. So finally I had some Hawkeyes around me, and my wife got pretty quiet. So that was nice too.
Well, I think we really saw that game, the whole mantra of the break the rock mentality. We were pounding it, and then you just saw right as that third to fourth quarter, the change started to happen, and we just started pushing them down the field. And it was like you guys said, the seats thinned out. So many seats in our section opened up, and Husker fans were leaving. And I know my wife got shoved from behind by like an 80-year-old man.
Really?
Told her to sit her ass down. And so you want to know what my wife does out of principle? She stood the whole game, didn't sit down at all, just to piss him off even more. But I have never.
Attaboy, Kyle.
Beer time. But I've never in my life been in an arena or a building where there was blood in the water and they were ravenous. They wanted Hawkeye blood bad, and they thought they were going to get it, and then not so fast. We took it
right
back
out from underneath them. Yeah.
Oh, that's why they play 4 quarters, boys.
So at 60 minutes long.
So Adam, the crack
It was
research
like Christmas
staff,
in November.
the crack research staff has come up with
Crack
a photo of.
They're great. They're going to win an Emmy or something.
So there we go.
There he is.
There's the beauty that is
Boom.
Matty Ice on game day.
If you're listening to this on podcast, you owe it to yourself to get on YouTube and check out the Miller Lite Delight in all of his glory. Right now, he looks unbelievable.
I was always told horizontal and vertical motifs do not go together, but he pulls it off. He reps that with a style all his own.
I was getting compliments from Husker fans about my outfit, actually. Yes, they were like, I can't even be mad at that. That's awesome.
That is called panache, I believe, is the word if you look it up in Merriam's Webster's dictionary.
And I don't know who that bum was you took a picture with there, but that was really nice of you to pose with a fan like that. That was cool.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, I do what I can.
Oh, I got to show you guys. This is one of my favorite pictures. I mean, I don't know. I rewatched the game today, and at the end of the game, Kurt got emotional. Like, he legit was like holding back tears, and he's like, I gotta go celebrate with my team. And like, the dude was about ready to cry, and I'm like, I'd run through a wall for that man, doing just the way he cares. But look at that picture, man. Like, how cool is that?
Yeah,
I love it.
West Division champions, baby, outright.
Oh God, that looks good. Holding up those trophies. So you guys that are listening on the podcast, it's a picture in the Nebraska locker room of Gary Barta holding up the West Division champions trophy, and then Kirk holding the Heroes Game trophy. So that was pretty awesome. And then we got some other photos here. We got our friend Jason Mason, the Hawkeye Hype Kid's dad.
Nice.
Posing with the corn belt. Like, looking like a freaking badass there. That's awesome. Great guy. Drove us down there in a bus. And then we got old Jer Bear here. Look at that picture.
Yeah.
That's like a glamour shot.
It was.
Glamorous.
Just like one.
Man, looking good. And then, the Miller Lite Delight and I had to celebrate, hit the town,
Light delight.
to the victor goes the spoils. And we checked out the local watering holes in Nebraska, and there's a photo of us downtown cracking a beer as we speak.
So the text message I got, somebody shared that to me and said, why is that guy holding up a number 1? It was a Husker fan. And said, why is one of your friends holding up a number 1? I said, because he was telling how many victories Nebraska's had in the series in the last decade.
Yeah.
I got no response off of that one. So
Touche. Touche. Very nice. Well put.
That's a good one, Jerry. And
that's good. I like it.
Anytime the Huskers want to say, why are you holding up a number 1 finger? It's like, yeah, well, that's how many victories you've got in the series like in the last 10 years. So anyway.
All right. And this gives you like a little bit of an idea of what we had to deal with this picture out at the bars. That's it's a Husker fan right there.
Yeah. The funny part about that is the bartender told us that her and her group are swingers.
Yeah.
Stay away from them. They're swingers.
Yep. So every time I looked over, so you guys listening on the podcast, it's a picture of an old cougar flipping me off, like a Nebraska fan. So she's got the cheetah scarf on and a Husker shirt. And
can you take that off real fast, Kyle?
Yeah.
I'm getting nervous. Seriously, I have nightmares.
Oh man, so like we're sitting there having.
Coming to get me.
we're sitting there having drinks, and I just kept feeling like you know that feeling when someone's looking at you, and so I'm like I look over, and then there she is, nonstop, like flipping me off, and I'm just like, and she kept saying "F you, Hawkeye," and I'm like, okay.
That was supposed to be taken literally, Adam.
Yeah, well, we didn't.
That was her way of hitting on you.
Matt and I chose not to partake in their swinging, so we did not. And
that wasn't gonna happen.
No, we weren't interested. That's not what we were out for. We're two happily married men. And then we got the some Hawkeye fans we ran into to celebrate. That was a
Nice.
really fun group. So yeah, we had a great time with some local Hawkeye fans. So really great trip. Always have a fun
Very
time
nice.
going to Lincoln, especially when we come away with a victory.
The guy and the gal in that picture in the middle there actually were pretty good friends with Marty Potabom. They were talking about knowing him and his family and how great of a family they are. So that was kind of neat to hear. And
Yeah,
always
one of our tailgaters was actually a cousin of Monty Potabom when we were there.
Yeah?
So yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a great guy, great family. So that's fun to hear about Hawkeye football players. I just think there's a lot of that gets missed.
Yeah. Well, then, like Kyle said before, and I love that Kyle said this, that they focus on getting high character guys that are good people. They're going to come in there and they're going to work their butt off. They're going to go to class and they're going to represent the team in the community in a positive light. So, you have that one in a however many, that doesn't, but for the dang 99.9%, they're great young men that we bring in. It's a lot to be proud of.
So Adam, hopefully I'm not stealing your thunder here. Speaking of great young men, but can we talk to Kyle about that big old bling in the front of his camera right there?
Yeah.
I've been staring, it's like the sparkle off it keeps distracting me and I don't know what's going on here. So Kyle, tell us about that. Why don't you?
Well, you know what? You talk about a 10 and 2. Let me go grab it real quick. Hold on one sec.
All right. Well, boys, while he's grabbing that, I want you to get your minds prepared because we're about ready to do a bowl pick'em. Okay. And the Miller Lite Delight has the chance, if he wants to put the crown on the line for the bowl pick'em, he can. So get ready.
Oh, look at that.
Wow.
Ooh, 2 of them.
Well,
All
see,
right.
I thought that this one said 10 and 2 on it, but the 2002 season, we also had 10. We were 10 and 2. Yeah, these are my 2 Big Ten championship rings. Like I've told you guys before, and Adam, I let your sons wear these. I think Matt, you saw them too in person. These just sit in my basement.
That was awesome.
My basement. These just sit in my basement, man. My kids, they don't know what the heck these are. They just think that they're, cool, daddy's cool rings. They have no clue. And these mean a lot. These mean a lot to me because these represent, the guys that I played with and the great experiences that I had. I mean, guys, I was just a kicker who knew how to kick a football, and the guys that helped us win all those, the other guys who helped us win all those games, all those years. I'm very fortunate to be a part of all that. So, yeah, man,
It's awesome.
I got the 2004 Big Ten championship ring and Capital One bowl ring.
Nice.
Sorry, there you go.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that with us, man.
Those are cool.
Yeah.
And the
So
2002
podcast listeners, that's another thing to look in at is those rings that Kyle's showing us here. From back from 2004, right, Kyle?
2004 right here and 2002 right here.
Okay.
Very cool. Very cool.
And the only reason why I brought these out is because we're playing for the Big Ten championship.
Heck yeah. Makes sense to me.
Very fitting, Kyle. That is awesome. Thanks, man.
So Kyle, do you still have your hat? Not that we would have prompted this or talked about it before the call, but do you still have the hat? What was that feeling like to win that championship and come back and find that and just find the merchandise in the locker and realize that you guys had just won the conference title?
It's pretty cool, man. I remember I got carried across the field. I got carried across Kinnick because I got trapped. The trophy presentation. The trophy presentation stage was on the opposite side of the field, and I remember after we beat Wisconsin in 2004, the crowd rushed. The stadium was they rushed stadium, and I got trapped, and they carried me all the way across the field to the stadium. Yeah, and then that was I think that was the last. You guys might have to. I can't remember, but I played in both the old locker room and the new locker room, like the south end zone. That was around the time when the south end zone was being built, and I'm pretty sure that was the last year that we had the old north. It would have been the northeast side locker room, which was super cool. The showers were literally just pipes with holes drilled in them.
Wow.
Dude, hey, like, yeah, like we would
Wow.
we'd win games, go up those stairs, and we'd all get in the shower, and you'd have a big there's a big like horse trough, or what are those things, those big black tubs that they use to feed cows with water or something like that.
Yeah, cattle
And,
troughs.
Cattle troughs, and those were filled with Gatorade, and we'd all go in there, and the pipes were literally just copper pipes with like holes drilled in them, and they would turn on the showers, and it sounded like a helicopter coming on, and the water would start spraying, and then the drainage system was so messed up that we would, after a few minutes, we'd all just be like sludging around in like a foot of like all of our filth.
Oh God.
So bad, but so awesome too.
So those were the good old days.
Yeah.
The good old days.
And then they built the south end zone, and like we were treated like royalty pretty much from then on. It's they're very fortunate to have what they have. The old locker room, man, there's a lot of old memories in that, man. I was there from 02 to 04, and then the new locker room from, I think, the end of 04 to 06. So pretty cool, man.
Crazy.
All right, boys. Well, looking forward to this Saturday. I'm so freaking excited. We've been wanting this for a long time, since 2015 was our last time there. We're going to be going to Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis to take on a really hot Michigan team right now who just knocked off Ohio State. Now, Michigan is a 10.5-point favorite in the Big Ten championship. This is really a matchup nobody saw coming. I think everybody really thought it was going to be Ohio State and Wisconsin. That was kind of the two trendy picks of where everyone thought. This is Michigan's first ever appearance in the Big Ten championship. It's Iowa's second. So we got Iowa at 10-2, Michigan at 11-1. So both coming off of victories here in the last week. And again, huge thank you to Minnesota and PJ Fleck for giving us that extra boost we needed to get to the Big Ten championship. Jerry, Jim Harbaugh, and his Michigan Wolverines, they're hot right now, man. They're favored by 10.5. Who are you taking in this one?
And they are on a roll. And, straight up, I'd have a very hard time picking it. But I'm going to be a homer because I always am. But I like our chances because Harbaugh early in the season made it no secret he wanted that Ohio State game. They've just had a huge, huge victory. And now they've got to turn back around and try to play. Well, not try. They'll play for the Big Ten championship now. But that Ohio State-Michigan rivalry is so big, and maybe this is just hopeful thinking, but I think that I like our chances because we're catching them off the tail end of them finally putting an end to the streak and probably what's the biggest rivalry in sports. So
yeah,
I'm going to go with a little bit of an emotional edge. Kyle picks with emotion. I'm going to try to look into the emotion of the Wolverines and say I like Iowa catching them on the rebound after such a big victory.
Okay. Kyle, I don't know if you were able to watch this game on TV, but the fans rushing the field and the scene there in Ann Arbor was so cool to watch all those people take the field and just like the joy of finally being able to knock off Ohio State. Like I could totally feel for them. Like what a big moment. Kyle, give us a little insight from a former player, what it's like coming off such a big emotional game like that, and who you're taking in this game on Saturday.
Well, first of all, it still annoys me when anyone refers to it as the big house. It's just not that intimidating. It really isn't.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely going with Iowa on this. I'm pulling for my man Shudak. I really want him to go out with a game winner, something big, something to be remembered by. obviously if that doesn't happen, I want it to be a big blowout. When I saw that it was going to be Michigan, and they pulled out the Vic against Ohio State, I'll admit, man, I was a little scared. I was, just because Michigan, when they're rolling, they're hot. But coming off a big victory, in my experience, you do get a little complacent. It's really tough to keep that momentum going. And it reminds me of when we beat Minnesota in 2004 at the Metrodome, and that's when I set 2 school records. And I just remember that whole week of preparation before the Wisconsin game to win the Big Ten championship. Everyone just kept reminding everyone. Everyone kept reminding everyone about how we need to forget about last week and move forward. So obviously, Michigan, they're a world-class organization. I'm sure they have the right people there telling them what to do, keeping their minds straight. But coming off of a big victory like that, it is tough to keep that momentum going. So I also hope that we will capitalize on that and hopefully catch them with their pants down a little bit.
All right. Well, I like it. I like where we're going with these picks. I hope you guys are right. The fans want to know, in Indianapolis, will the Miller Lite Delight make an appearance at Lucas Oil Stadium and be there to cheer on his Hawkeyes? And
Fans want to know.
And Matt, who are you taking in this game? Number 5 Michigan at Lucas Oil against the Hawkeyes, 16th ranked, 10.5-point favorite. Matt, let us have it.
I've picked Iowa all year. I mean, that's just who I'm gonna pick, and I really do think that emotional game, it's gonna be a little bit like when that game after we beat Penn State. We came out flat up against Purdue. I mean, you take that much emotion and that much. It's hard to swing that to the next week and get over that hump. And I just think that that should help us at least. And I'd love to see our kicker kick for 3 to win it too, man. That'd be great. Win by 3, I'm fine with that. Win's a win.
Yeah,
win's a win. Yeah,
win by 1, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
right.
All right, Matt, and what's your response to your fans? Like,
So Matt, just to clarify, Adam's being nice. It wasn't fans; it was a fan wants to know if you're going to go to Indianapolis.
Oh, wait, what? That's not what the research team told me. All right, we'll let him off.
I got some logistics to work out. We'll see.
All right. Russell, the muscle. What are you thinking this week? Michigan, Iowa, in Indianapolis, an awesome city, such a fun place to go. They do it right. It is a fun place to go to a game.
It is fun. It is
fun.
To those of you on audio, that would be Russzilla, not Russell the Muscle.
Russell the Muscle, aka Rook ahead, it's Russzilla. And Russ, I want to know, if you've had any experience with Michigan fans, from the fan perspective, what do those guys like to tailgate with? Are they fun to have a beer with, just like any other Big Ten fan? Tell us a little bit about, what those type of fans are, or what, how they are to tailgate with, and who you're picking in this game.
Yeah, I've been to the Big House twice for Iowa games. We had one really good, my first trip up there, can't remember what year, I'm old. But we had a really good game, and we beat them by, I believe, like 17, something like that. But we actually took a tour up there and flew to Detroit. We had a bus that bussed us to Ann Arbor, and getting off the bus and walking across the parking lot, my overalls, a little bit nervous. You're right outside of Detroit. I'm like, boy, am I going to get shot standing out here? And I don't know that I bought a beer for myself that whole weekend. And the second trip was very much the same. I've had really pretty good experiences. And then when Michigan's come to Iowa City, for the most part, I've had good experiences with their fans.
Yeah.
I'm like everybody else. I mean, I think the emotion for Michigan last week, Michigan played a phenomenal game on Saturday. I mean, they were damn near flawless in every aspect of the game. I've watched quite a bit of Michigan this year, and I don't see that, continuing this Saturday. So, I'll take Iowa. I think we'll win by 6.
All right.
One good stat is we're plus 13 in turnovers this year as a team, and Michigan is flat even. So you got to guess that there might be a chance that we can force a couple of fumbles, get an interception or two out there.
All right.
Help.
I want to see what you guys are hearing right now. I've been doing a little bit of digging, and I'm going to start with you, Russ, because you're, the college football junkie, as am I. But you read a lot, you listen to a lot of stuff, and what are you hearing that if we win, what bowl game we might end up going to, and if we lose, where we might be going?
I hear Citrus with a win, which kind of baffles me that it's not the Rose.
Yeah,
Right.
They're saying Ohio State's going to go to the Rose Bowl.
What?
So that's everything I've read today. So Citrus,
Doesn't make sense.
and then if we would lose, possibly the Las Vegas Bowl or the Music City Bowl.
All right. That's weird that we go 10-2 back in what was that 2010 and go to the Orange Bowl, and now we go 10-2. We're in the Big Ten championship and might be going to the Las Vegas Bowl. Like that's just
make
weird.
Any sense. I mean, you would think Michigan to the playoff and then us to the Rose.
Right.
Well, that would make sense. So I don't know. I guess we're just gonna have to sit back and see what happens, and hopefully we'll be making another trip to Pasadena.
Isn't that what happened last year? Didn't Ohio State go to the playoffs last year and Wisconsin went to the Rose Bowl? Was that or was that? I might be thinking of another year, but it might have been 2 years ago. Maybe I'm thinking of. But.
Well, I remember back when Penn State won the Big Ten championship, and they'd only lost one game, and they didn't even make the college football playoff. They sent them to the Rose Bowl.
They picked Ohio State to go that year. That was when Barkley was there as their running back. They're easily the best team in the Big Ten that year, and they got overlooked by the committee. And Ohio State went to the playoffs, and Penn State went to the Rose Bowl. It was the dumbest pick I've ever seen. And then Ohio State got completely destroyed by Alabama by like 40 points.
Well, Mr. Schlicker, are you going to be making a trip to Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship?
It's tough, man. We went out to breakfast this morning, and I said, hey, we should try to go to Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship. And, of course, my wife is like, my kids are like, oh, my gosh. And they have no idea what the heck this is. They're like, oh, yeah, let's go. As soon as we looked up tickets, of course, everything was sold out. And then my brother-in-law, he's like, well, you played for Iowa, so shouldn't you get like free tickets? I'm like, can't you just like make a phone call,
Yeah.
I'm like, well,
you don't have Kirk on speed dial. He can't just hook you up.
Yeah. I'm sure that the football complex over there has some allotted tickets. But so the pressure's on me, man. It'll be a game time decision. I think if we have a couple more weeks to prepare for this, we'd definitely be going. But I don't know, man. It's going to be a game time decision.
Well, Kyle, just so you know, LeVar Woods already announced on Twitter that how excited he was, but he does not have tickets for anybody asking. So don't call LeVar Woods for any tickets.
I thought Kyle was going to say, Merry Christmas, boys. I'm taking you to the Big Ten championship. I got the hookup.
If I was going to do something like that, like Ken O'Keefe is still there. Coach Ferentz, obviously. I played with Brian. But if I was going to do something like that, especially for a Big Ten championship game, I'd probably make the drive. And knock on the door and go sit in Coach Ferentz' office and ask
party.
Hey,
party crash. There you go.
Yeah, because we spent 5 years with each other. Like those are pretty intimate years. And
he'd probably let you stand out on the field with him.
Well, yeah, and that's happened.
You could do the coin flip.
Yeah. Wow, that'd be really cool. Something like that, especially for a Big Ten championship game. I feel that at least me personally, I would want to drive, knock on the door. Now, when you go to the Jacobson, when you go to the athletic building, it's not like it was in the past where, now they have that huge, sexy building. It's just like I remember I went there several years ago just to visit, and my son was super young, And we walk in the door, and immediately there's this really young, like, intern greeting me at the door, like, "Hi, how may I help you?" And I'm like, um, I introduce myself, and I say I'm a player, and they didn't know who I was, and that's okay. It's not a big deal, but my point is things have changed, and it's not like the old Jacobson Athletic Building, which is still across the street, by the way, and where a few years after I graduated, I could literally visit anytime I wanted, and I still knew everybody. Everyone was still there, all the secretaries, everyone was still there. So it's a little harder now. And me personally, talking about myself, like I feel like I much rather would go and tailgate with some friends and go to a bar afterwards.
Sure.
If I have been back a few times, and sideline passes are great. But honestly, going to a bar, because I got kids now too, it just makes things easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And, I don't know about you guys. I had this image of Kyle walking in Kirk's office, kicking his feet up on top of the desk, be like, "Hey, Kirk, hook me up." And Kirk's like, "I haven't heard out of you for the last 10 years. What are you talking about?"
I've had dreams about this. I really have. Envisioning. I've been back many times, but like the one regret that I do have is I wish I would have established a little bit more of a better relationship with Coach Ferentz, because when you have a coach like that, and you have so much success that we had in those 5 years. I mean, still, I think those 5 years I was there are still to this date the five most successful consecutive years in school history. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And I've talked to him about this too, and I'm confident that I could do that. I could just walk in and be like, "Hey, man, what's up? What's up with all this? What's with all these interns you got at the front door? What's going on here?" And he'd probably say this. He'd probably say the same thing, And things have changed. You know what I mean? It's just times have changed. COVID obviously changed stuff, but I mean, guys, man, what is it? 2021. I'm 16 years graduated. That baffles me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of time for things to change. So anyway,
Right.
I could talk for hours about this stuff, man.
I love it. That's super cool. You know what? Sometime you should just reach out and say hi and talk to him. I'm sure he'd love to hear from you. I think that'd be awesome. All right, boys. Well, hopefully the next time
he didn't know I was stopping by. One time he didn't know I was stopping by, and he was really happy to see me.
Cool. That's awesome, man.
That's cool.
Good deal, man.
Very cool. Well, I'm hoping next time we all get together, we're gonna have a Big Ten championship to celebrate.
Man. One time Adam stopped by without telling him to, and security got called. So it feels special, Kyle.
Yeah. Do you want me to tell him what you were doing when I showed up?
No.
No. Okay. I didn't think so.
It's amazing. That guy remembers the smallest details. After all these years, he still remembers like exactly what I said the day I committed in his house. What I was wearing, what my mom and dad were wearing. Like, he's got a pretty incredible memory, man.
I've heard that.
Nice.
That's pretty crazy.
All right, guys. Well, good luck this Saturday. Wherever all of us will be watching the game. Tickets are expensive, so
not as expensive as the SEC.
Yeah. Well, it's ridiculous.
Hey, Adam, what's everybody's thoughts on who's going to be the starting quarterback?
Everything that I'm hearing and seeing is that Spencer Petras is going to start.
I can't see him not starting Petras after playing Nebraska and him coming in.
I mean, I just, Alex Padilla's quarterback coach that he works out with in the offseason has been sending out some tweets pretty pissed off and frustrated that that he was, I don't know if he was benched or how that went down or anything, but it really gave us the injected energy that we needed.
Well, one of the podcasts I listened to said his voice was, because he had the flu, and his voice was so raspy and bad that the line of scrimmage, they couldn't hear him calling out the play call anymore.
Okay.
Oh, really?
So that's part of the reason they pulled him out, and that he was still suffering from flu symptoms. So he just didn't have the energy level and didn't have the pop that we're used to.
You could
But
tell. I mean, you could tell when he was out there.
He was underthrowing players. Like, so a lot of his passes were underthrown. Like, his energy wasn't all quite there. You could kind of see that. And then Petrus came in and he was making those passes. He actually scrambled out of the pocket when it collapsed. A couple
times there.
I was impressed. I mean,
he did.
He must have watched Padilla and took some notes, maybe. I don't know, but he looked a lot better.
Kyle, what were you going to say?
Quarterback's coach?
It was
Padilla's high school quarterback coach.
Yeah, not Ken O'Keefe. Yeah, it's a guy he works out with in the off season. Yeah.
Okay. I was, if it's his high school quarterback, that just sounds so weird to me. Like I wouldn't have worked out with anybody else that Iowa didn't sanction. Like, give them go ahead.
Yeah, quarterbacks are doing that kind of thing now.
It's so weird, man. You're competing for a starting position. It's just time to change, man.
Yeah.
Times have changed.
Yeah, no, they really have. So,
respect to your coaches too.
All right, boys.
Well, I think to finish that up, times have changed, and we were all 7 years younger the last time Nebraska beat Iowa. So,
that's true. Yeah. Well,
yes,
boys,
we were.
congratulations to each of you for 7 years in a row beating Nebraska, Heroes Game champions. And hopefully next time we talk, we'll be doing a Swarm the 402 podcast a week before our next bowl game. And hopefully I'll be looking at a bunch of Big Ten champions.
Heck yeah.
Great. Go Hawks.
Go
All
Hawks.
right, guys. Go Hawks.
Good to see you guys again.
All right, good to see you,
you,
Kyle.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Cheers, dude.